Tag TV and Tag Radio be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Imagine if you were empowered with advanced thinking. Advanced thinking that helps you make better, faster, and more complete decisions. No, not a new educational degree program or pharmaceutical discovery. This one is a software. That's right, a software that thinks like people do. A software that amplifies human decision-making capabilities when there's too much data or too little time to process it. Or quite simply, when decisions need to be made in corporate, government, and military environments when not enough experts are available within the organization. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, December 18, 2012, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. Up to the Tech Talk, OODA loops, intelligence agents and associative memory technologies. Yikes! Intelligence force manipulation and beyond advanced analytics as Tino talks intelligence technologies with industry pioneering company and bleeding edge visionary at Veloxiti. From the military battle space to the battles of commercial marketplace dominance, Tino speaks with Veloxiti's founder and CEO, Don Turner, a nationally recognized technology strategist and serial entrepreneur with a passion for growing companies on the leading edge of technology. An early member of the pioneering technology strategy team at Booz Allen and Hamilton, Don has experience that spans several boutique strategy firms. He was a group president at a public telecommunications agency and was chief strategist of a billion-dollar public company where he architected the IPO. For the past 12 years, Don has been CEO, general manager for 8 different emerging technology companies. His record of successfully leading startups and multi-billion-dollar public corporations spans more than 2 decades. What is artificial intelligence? Is it science fiction? Or is it crucially important to the evolving of tomorrow's integrated digital ecosystem, from big data being more the problem than the solution to OODA loops and the affordability of any government agency or commercial enterprise to be empowered with artificial intelligence software, as Tino goes Uber speed thinking with Veloxiti's founder and visionary, Don Turner.
Don, thank you for joining me on Tech Talk.
Well, thank you for having me, Tino.
Let's jump right in. I had a chance to meet with you recently. We talked a little bit about Veloxiti, and I was sure that our members would be very interested in what you're doing. So bring the company to life in terms of how it came about and your focus.
Sure. Well, simply put, what we do is we make software that thinks. And that's a new class of software in contrast to a growing number of companies that are focused on trying to deal with the big data problem with massive number crunching and massive algorithms. We actually create software that thinks like humans do. So where the typical advanced analytics company can take a billion spreadsheets and in a flash boil it down into one spreadsheet, if the human still needs to look at it and think about it, that's where we come from. We can emulate how that human thinks. The company has just been recently relaunched, actually. It's built off the foundation of a company that was around Atlanta for 22 years called Applied Systems Intelligence, and primarily a research house on the leading edge of artificial intelligence and thinking about cognitive systems. We started last year creating an entirely new business model. We wrote all of our technology, brand new products, and we thought a name change was appropriate since it's kind of a restart startup.
And you mentioned artificial intelligence, so I think probably most of our listeners know just enough to be dangerous in that area, but I don't know if anybody really knows exactly what that means in respect to how it's applied to technology. So, what is artificial intelligence, and how does Veloxiti use it? How do you fit in terms of the business world?
Well, sure. The challenge with artificial intelligence defining it is if you ask a dozen artificial intelligence experts, you'll get a dozen different definitions. And part of that problem is severalfold. One is that artificial intelligence gleans its technology and its science from so many other disciplines: psychology, physiology, neuroscience, computer science, economics, control theory. All of those contribute to this whole nebulous world of artificial intelligence. Secondly, artificial intelligence in one flavor or another has been around for 60 years, but it is much like today's science fiction is tomorrow's science. Those things that were artificial intelligence only a few years ago are off-the-shelf products today. For example, voice recognition we all take for granted today. That was once considered artificial intelligence. When you go through the toll booth at Georgia 400 and a pattern recognition system takes a snapshot of your license plate and reads the number, that once was considered artificial intelligence. So there's so many different definitions of artificial intelligence, plus there's two big branches of thought. A branch of folks that are trying to emulate actually how the brain and the body and the human mind thinks, and another branch that doesn't care how it does what it does, but is focusing on results. To put that in contrast, the first branch would build a plane with its wings that flap. The second branch doesn't. They build a plane with fixed wings, but it still flies like a bird. But essentially, artificial intelligence is the discipline of computer science that focuses on emulating human thought process.
And, you mentioned it's been around for 60 years in one way, shape, or form. But it seems like with the emergence of big data and what companies are trying to do in respect to being able to identify more clearly their market and how to go after their market and take all this information that everybody's getting it and boil it down to something that your business development people or your company can really use. So is artificial intelligence taking on more importance today, and why?
Well, it absolutely is, and again, everybody has heard of Watson and its
right.
Foray into jeopardy, and we applaud IBM because they're making the world aware of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence 60 years ago gleaned a lot of early successes, but then there actually in the 80s was this almost AI winter where they had so many successes they started promising far more than they could deliver, and that disappointed a lot of people, and artificial intelligence actually took on a bad name. In fact, if you ask most laymen what artificial intelligence is, they immediately conjure up visions of Terminator, Big Brother in 1984. But we believe AI, in certain elements of AI, are ready for prime time. The reason being is that, I'm not saying anything particularly profound, is that big data is real. Big data is not the solution, it's the problem. And even the very best performers in any given discipline, whether it's healthcare or finance or insurance or banking or the military, they're getting inundated with exponentially increasing amounts of data. Simply crunching that data faster and faster is not going to help them. There are certain elements of artificial intelligence, and one of them specifically is intelligent agents. And intelligent agents are digital software programs that emulate how a human thinks. Now, we're not trying to replace the human. What we're trying to do is augment the human, take a certain portion of what that human's doing in their day-to-day job and making decisions and put it on uber speed and amplify it, and where they're looking at 10 documents in order to make a decision, we'll look at 20,000 documents, understand the context of what they're trying to accomplish, and bring back only the most important things that are relevant that they should know right now in order to make that decision. So we're there to assist and elevate and augment the human. So again, we believe that artificial intelligence is really ready for prime time. That is the reason this company exists, is to bring AI into the B2B and B2C masses.
Historically, the company has been focused mainly on the military and defense, as I understand it. So, as you say, you're really making the foray into the commercial side, into the business market. How do you approach that market? Who are you talking to, and how's it going so far?
Well, everybody asks us which verticals are you focused on, and that's difficult. Years and years ago, I was chief strategy officer of a billion-dollar computer-aided design company. And, for those listeners that are familiar with CAD systems, I can use a computer-aided design application, the same application to design a table, a phone, a car, a building, or an airplane. It's the same piece of software. That's much like what we have. We have developed a development environment that we call Velox Design that can be used to create intelligent agents to assist somebody in the military, somebody in insurance, somebody in healthcare, somebody in the financial markets, somebody in other types of businesses, and in social media. And we're working right now with a company to do this convergence of independent music, greater granularity in B2C marketing, and social media. And we can build agents for all of those. What we're really looking for is those folks that are asking themselves, with all this data, what's next? I've got more data than I can handle. Simply buying bigger and better number crunchers isn't going to solve the problem, because I still have to have people to make certain decisions. What do I do? And we're looking for those visionaries in any given market that are willing to take a look at something that's a brand new type of technology that, if it does work for their industry, is a game changer. Because one of the things that we focus on, which we've proven in the military with our warfighter associate, where we amplify, not replacing the entire commander's brain, but in a command and control at brigade headquarters, we amplify a certain portion of his thinking by over 1,000 times. And that's what we're looking for, is those areas that have increasing labor costs, can't find enough of the skilled workers, and even their best performers can't process all the data. Let us take a portion of how those people think, build a digital associate like a little mini-me to sit on their shoulder and process all of that, and then knowing the context of what they're trying to accomplish, thinking like they do, tap them on the shoulder when there's something that the human needs to do to get involved. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to the listeners. I have time for a couple more questions. So in terms of the future, so if you look out a year from now or 2 years from now, how are the companies going to be using Veloxiti intelligence systems? And I think you're also expanding horizontally with some other products or offerings.
Yes. Our products today are our two major products are Velox Engine and Velox Design. Velox Design is the development environment, and we started off last fall trying to do something that really, at least we don't believe anybody else has ever done successfully before, but build something where a relatively proficient Java programmer can actually build an intelligent agent. Up till to date, the number of people that can build an intelligent agent, you could probably fit in a high school basketball gymnasium and have room for the volleyball court. There wasn't very many of them. They're called knowledge engineers or artificial intelligence engineers. What we started doing last November is building in a completely new development environment where you can build these intelligent agents in a graphical manner, and then if you want modify it, you can modify it using basically Java and JavaScript. And we've actually just proven that recently with a training course with the U.S. Army where non-knowledge engineer but Java programmers could successfully learn how to build intelligent agents within just a few days to go ahead and augment what the military is doing and using them for. We also have a product called Velox Engine, and that is the fancy name. If you're at the cocktail party this weekend, Tino, and you want something really interesting to say, it's a hierarchical cognitive engine based on the OODA loop. With that big breath of saying, it's basically the OODA loop stands for observe, orient, decide, and act. You can Google it, OODA loop, and it's a proven paradigm to how to emulate how humans make decisions. We observe very quickly, we orient, we decide, and we act. And the premise is that if I have that decision cycle and I can do it faster than you, then I'm going to be victorious in a military situation, and I'm going to be a winner in a business situation. So the future is to push those two products. We're also working on a new knowledge acquisition program. One of the most difficult things to do for building an intelligent agent is to acquire all the knowledge from experts and from various systems in order to build the intelligent agents. So we are building a voice-integrated graphical input system that will be used by the subject matter expert, not the knowledge engineer, to start capturing all their different information. And in fact, we originally designed it to do knowledge acquisition, and now the U.S. Army wants to use it as a graphical, hierarchical information repository where you can click, go up and go down, and store everything that you want to store relative to a given topic, whether it be video, media, text, hyperlinks, or whatever. And that's our major products right now. On the side, we also have several other types of artificial intelligence products that use expert systems and associative memory, but our focus really has been on the intelligent agent side.
Don, in case our listeners want to find out more, what's your website?
It is Veloxiti.com, V as in Victor, ELOXITI.
Well, I appreciate you joining me on Tech Talk today, and also you're recently joining as a premier member. You're, I think, number 210. So we look forward to getting you and your team more engaged with TAG.
Well, we're honored to be a premium member and looking forward to working with you folks more closely, and we thank you for the opportunity to be on your show today.
Thanks for joining me.
Bye.